Now, we're going to be discussing Topship, which is a company that is looking to improve Nigeria's shipping industry and logistics through the adoption of cutting-edge technology, digital tracking systems, automated port operations, and the likes. And that's a very pertinent conversation because we want to ask the CEO and co-founder of Topship how to improve these figures of GDP numbers. Let's take a look at the transportation and storage numbers for Nigeria in terms of GDP. So a lot of numbers on your screen. Don't get intimidated. But basically, transportation and storage as a full sector at the top there. Your far right, Q2, it contracted by 13%. Road transportation, look at that, 15% contraction. Rail did well, water did well, air transport didn't do so well. Transport services and post and courier also in single digits. So Mr. Moses Enenwali is a Nigerian entrepreneur. He's a co-founder and CEO of Topship, logistics technology company that we have said already aims to simplify and boost the efficiency in the transport and logistics sector. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much. So tell us what your company does, first of all. Set the scene.
Yes, so Topship is a shipping platform. We help African businesses, particularly Nigerian businesses, import and export goods from Nigeria to their suppliers and customers across the world. We also help them import goods from their distributors from anywhere in the world, China, the USA, UK, etc., etc. So we basically use technology to make that, simplify that entire process, and we're basically making a very fragmented industry simple.
I'm glad you mentioned that it's a fragmented industry because everybody seems to be working in silos.
Yes.
So do you have a platform? Can you illustrate how somebody who wants to ship something from Beijing to Lagos or whatever, how that would work?
Yeah. So traditionally what you would do is you would have to get on the phone with an agent and then haggle a bunch of prices and have to talk to a bunch of people to get a particular shipment done. But with Topship now, we've basically streamlined that entire process. And that's everything from finding the courier, price negotiation, customs clearance, visibility and tracking, import duties, etc. And so we've simplified that entire process on one platform. So when you go on Topship now, you would basically see for whatever you want to ship, you see a couple of options depending on the type of shipment that you'd want to ship. Some shipments do better on different routes than others. Some shipments do better on different vessels than others. And so we'll help you pick the best possible option for the shipment that you want to. And then we'll take it from there. We'll handle the visibility and tracking, we'll handle the customs clearance, we'll handle everything all the way down to wherever the destination is. So basically streamlining and simplifying that entire process and shining light to a very dark hole in the industry.
So agents because this is a global platform, are they gonna come after you with threats that you're threatening their way of living? Yeah. What happens to agents now that you cut them out?
Yeah, so the beautiful thing is we actually collaborate with all the players that have been in the industry since inception. So we're not taking them away, we're disrupting, but with inclusivity. Everyone's still a part of the system. Now we've brought technology so everything is transparent and everyone works better. It actually helps them. They make more money now. So we work with them. We're not dispelling with them. We work with them and we help them improve their processes as well. At the end of the day, everybody wins when there's technology.
Amen to that. So wait, are you only dealing B2B? I mean, if I want to get a pair of shoes from Italy, you're going to help me do that, right? You're only dealing with businesses with bulk orders. Is that how it works?
So we actually do both. But the funny thing is, that's an interesting question because, since 2019, 2020, the definition of a business owner has changed. Now that you have social media and it's very easy to collect payments online, the definition of a business owner has changed. So you can start a business tomorrow.
Right. And
so the barrier to creating a business has been transformed, especially recently. And so yes, we are a business platform. We deal with businesses, but we can help individuals import as well and export because it's a very gray area and it's basically the same process. However, we're focused solely on businesses because businesses are the most shippers. It's businesses that ship every single day. You wouldn't buy a shoe from Italy every day.
Right.
But a business owner that makes shoes sells to Italy every single day. And so we deal with business owners more than with individuals, but we can handle both.
So I guess, Nigeria's import dependency, you're benefiting from that then.
So yes, absolutely. But here's another thing though. We're also putting in the work to promote exports from Nigeria because that's also very important, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But yes, we handle both imports and exports. However, exports are growing in Nigeria, out of Nigeria. We've seen that trend, increasingly growing, especially because now it's easier to export. Now it's easier to run a business. Now it's easier to market in the USA and the UK and Canada, etc. So yes, we're seeing that trend also go up. But yes, we do handle it.
So I think we're showing images from, is it an app or website, both?
Both. It's a web app. You can go on the website. You can download an app on the App Store, on the Play Store, but you could also just go on the website and interact with the platform. Okay. Very easy to use.
So what about your fees? How much competition do you have in this field?
So there are a couple of technology startups that handle different areas of the process. The unique thing about Topship is we're the first platform to handle both A and C on one integrated platform, especially in this part of the world. And so we're very proud about that. So what the platform does for you, it just helps you pick the best option. You mentioned the fees. The thing about Topship is we'll give you the visibility, we'll give you flexibility. So you as a business owner make the decision. Depending on your needs, you can decide what works best for you. You can afford to pay more for a faster shipping option, or you can afford to say, I'm optimizing for cost savings. I don't mind waiting a little bit of time. I'll pay less for a slower option. So we give you that option, give you that flexibility, and then you make the decision as a business owner.
How do you get past the Nigerian factor of the issues at the ports with the delays in clearing goods and so on and so forth?
So I mentioned earlier, we work with all the stakeholders involved, and so we have a very good relationship with the customs service. We have a very good relationship with all the different stakeholders that are involved in import clearance as well as export clearance. And so we work with them. We have a good relationship with them. We make sure that we have all the documentation requirements are met on time, because a lot of the time, these delays are a function of that just inability, not having enough information about what's required for your goods to move, and not being clear on all the documentation requirements. Topship takes that hassle away as well, and so it tends to improve things significantly. So we have a very good relationship with all the stakeholders, especially the regulators. Yeah.
So I mean, this also includes insuring the goods and all crossing the T's and dotting the I's, basically.
Absolutely. So all the different like when we say fragmented industry, we're talking about all these different stakeholders. The insurance company, the last mile courier, the regulators, the customs guys. Topship helps with every single thing, including insurance, which is a very big part of shipping.
Are you looking, since you're a player in the sector, are you looking to the future put out reports on imports and exports? Have you made any observations of trends in that field for Nigeria?
Yes, absolutely. So, our space, particularly technology, using technology to power logistics, is relatively new. So we want to give a little bit of time, and we will definitely come out with some information to just give like an overview or snapshot of what the industry looks like. Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, look, I wanted to, of course, let people know what you're doing, because with what you're trying to do is disruptive, and it looks like you're going to bring a lot of efficiency to imports and exports. But I wanted to get your thoughts on those numbers, because of course the big story is Nigeria's GDP figures, and we decided to pull, when we heard you were coming on, on the show, we said, okay, let's have a player in the sector who can speak to these numbers we're seeing in transport and storage, and they're pretty ugly. It's divided into there's rail and pipelines, there's road, but most of transportation and logistics is by road, right? So how can we improve some of those nasty numbers that were?
So I think first of all, it's important to understand the context. 2023 and so 2024 so far have been interesting years, just in global macroeconomics. So inflation has affected a lot of businesses, affected a lot of people's ability to sell things and buy things. And so that you're seeing a reflection of that in the numbers as well, especially there. Another thing to note is that this industry is mostly seasonal. So you'd see a lot of things change as quarters move around. Q1 tends to be a very good quarter because you're going from the December rush into the new year. Also, the beginning of Q4 tends to do well because you have that September rush coming into as the year sort of wraps up. So it's seasonal. So there's a context behind the numbers as well. But one thing that I would say though is, as part of what Topship is doing, especially with regards to how the year has been within this context, is if you can have as many options as possible, you can optimize for cost, which is the big part that business owners have had to deal with, especially since 2023 coming into this year. And so if you have 10, 15 options, 8 options, you can say, okay, there are options available for me that can save me money where I don't have to spend so much, and I can continue to do business. So that's been a big part of this, that what you're seeing with the numbers is just a reflection of everything that's been going on for the past 1 year plus. And we believe that with platforms like Topship, these things will continue to improve going forward.
Great stuff. Look, you're speaking, I got so many questions. So Apple just announced their one event, I think it's on the 9th of September. I am particularly excited for the iPhone 16, right? So let me ask you this. From your observation, what are people bringing in? Which sectors? Is it businesses, bringing in cars? Is it folks like in the very popular, electronics folks place in Ikeja, Computer Village, bringing in electronics? Is it clothes? What are you saying?
So it's a combination of all those things. Funny enough, the most important sort of category is machinery and equipment.
Aha.
So we're talking about generators, air conditions, manufacturing equipment, cameras. Those are the things that people import the most.
Yeah.
And then you go down and you have things like, consumer goods like phones, laptops, etc., also a very big factor. I'm talking about non-oil imports.
Right.
And then, of course, people import other things like apparel. People import clothes. People import raw materials, chemical products, pharmaceuticals. We import almost everything in Nigeria. So you can go down a very long list of things that are imported. But the big three are the manufacturing and equipment. Those are the big categories where people import a lot of things, especially air conditions, televisions, etc., etc.
So let me ask you this then. And I know you said you're going to put an eye towards exports and your platform is oriented for that. But this whole buy Nigeria to grow the Naira and this whole emphasis on, so if a day comes when your phone, laptop and everything is produced in Nigeria, what would that do to a business like yours?
So the thing is, it actually helps a business like ours. Because what it means is that now more Nigerians can sell their goods in India, China, etc., and we become globally competitive. So it's actually the future that we're trying to build, actually. It's a very, very ideal scenario. And the thing is, we believe that it's actually, that saying has been around for a while, buy Naira, grow Naira. But I think now is the time that it's actually going to take into effect. All the tools necessary are in place. You have digital social media that gives you visibility very, very easily and cheap. You don't need to rent, a television studio to market your goods anymore. You have technology companies that can help you collect payments globally, which is has been a big barrier since. You have companies like Topship that can help you ship your goods. So now you can, as a business in Kogi State, in Ikorodu, you can compete globally. So that's a beautiful thing, and we believe that that's the future that we're getting into.
See, again, as you speak more, I might hold you here for 1 hour. Okay, so you mentioned where are the countries where most of these items are coming from? Is it China?
Obviously, China is the big guy there. But also the USA, the UK, India. We also import a lot of things from the EU. Countries like Netherlands, etc. So those are our big trade partners.
Okay, so that's on the import side. From the export side, I'm sure Lagos dominates because of the ports. Are there any other states? In fact, are you mostly domiciled here? How do you deal with other folks in, I don't know, Anambra or Kogi or Zamfara that wants to ship out?
Yeah, so technically we would bring those goods into Lagos, and Lagos is sort of the gateway for the country. So it has to come to the gateway first and then gets exported out. Okay,
so so thank you. So this is something else we've talked about here. And we talk about it with real estate. We talk about it with everything. Yes, Lagos is the commercial capital, it's the gateway. But would we benefit from other states? I guess you'd have to have a port and all that stuff. I think some other states are working with it. Wouldn't we benefit from being able to diversify the gateways?
Yeah, absolutely. The more sort of gateways we have, the better it will be, the easier it will be, the cheaper it will be, because the cost is also a big factor. The fact that you have to bring your goods from Kano to Lagos before you ship it out is adding to your cost, and it impacts your bottom line. So definitely diversifying the economy by adding those additional infrastructure would have a significant impact on businesses and the growth of the economy.
What's been your observation on the road networks and moving stuff within the country, and also how much rail would benefit us here in Nigeria, as what you've seen with moving things around the country?
Yeah, absolutely. So the future is definitely bright, in my opinion. I think we're heading towards a bright future in terms of road networks and road transportation, especially, and how it impacts logistics as well. Same thing with rail. Look at the numbers. Rail is doing well. We're heading towards that future, and it will definitely, like I said, it's definitely going to have an impact on ease and cost. And cost is the big one for the business owners in Nigeria.
I was reading on your website. Did you air freight? Are you doing that as well? Okay, so talk about that. So mostly it's by the sea channels. How does it break down?
Yes. So basically, certain things are easier to ship via sea than via air. So depending on, and this is the beautiful thing about Topship, is you can make the decision. So depending on what you would like to ship, air freight is obviously faster but slightly more expensive. Sea freight can carry heavier things, slightly takes a little bit more time. It's slightly cheaper as well. So depending on the unique needs that you have, you can select the route and sort of the shipping option that works best for you. But yes, we have been shipping via air freight since 2020. Okay,
so I bring that up because you've obviously seen what's been going on in the Middle East, the whole geopolitics. Do folks like you sit down and watch? Because yesterday we were covering the missile exchange between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon and so on and so forth. There was the blockage of the Red Sea. How have you monitored the geopolitics when it comes to your business and trying to ship goods across the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're always keeping our pulse on sort of global events and how it impacts our businesses. I mean, if anyone that signed up to Topship will always get our reports. Whenever things happen, we always update our customers.
Okay.
But however, the beautiful thing about Topship is we're not restricted to a certain region, a certain partner. We have those options. And so when things happen, we can easily make changes behind the scenes and then our customers can continue to access those services.
You have partners on the other side? If I want to bring something from China or wherever. So you're plugged into all those folks?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, great. All right. So look, obvious question I have to ask for anybody shipping. Can you speak to the foreign exchange issues that we've seen in Nigeria and how that has, customs has been changing the exchange rate at which you bring goods in. So how has that factored into your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So that definitely impacts the cost of shipping significantly. I think this year there have been at least 4 different price changes. So it's been a very interesting year in terms of the pricing. It impacts the cost of shipping. Again, going back to the having a flexibility and choice. That's a very important thing, especially in the chaotic market. You need to be able to, the business owner needs to be able to say, you know what, this used to be my traditional route, doesn't favor me anymore in this regime. I'll move to a route that's more optimal for me. So that's the beautiful thing about the platform.
Great stuff. Look, this has been a fantastic conversation. We're out of time, but I have to press you on AI. How are you? What's the expansion? How do you see AI factoring into? Will you move all your staff and replace them with robots? How do you see AI for technology platforms and shipping impacting things
absolutely.
going forward?
So I think AI is going to sweep across every industry. The difference in my view is that I think it's actually going to help us become more productive, give us access to better data, help us analyze information better. So I think AI is the future, and we're optimistic about the impact.
Moses Enenwali, co-founder, CEO of Topship. This is one of my favorite conversations I've had. Thank you so much. I'll have to bring you back to talk about the sector. You guys are doing great work. Young Nigerians making a difference.